Ahead Judge Truman, Eisenhower, JFK, LBJ, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Daddy Bush, Bill Clinton, Baby Bush, and Obama on equal terms, and they came up with the conclusion that Barack Obama was the worst president out of all of those. Give me a fucking break. Every one of those are actually very forgettable presidents. That's why they said since World War II. So basically, since FDR, we haven't had a president, right? We have not had a fucking president. Barack Obama is a real president. Bush, when he left office, he said, Baby Bush, he says, even though you might have disagreed with everything that I did, you cannot deny that I led. And he's right. He did lead, okay? He did make the decisions and choices, and he did push his ideas through. So he did lead, and that's what Barack Obama is doing. He actually passed more pieces of legislation than every president since FDR. FDR is, you can't compare it. You can't fuck with, that's the big head cheese. I mean, the New Deal, he fucking changed the whole game, right? Part of the aristocracy came and helped fight for the working class people, helped strengthen unions, helped strengthen labor, had a lot of works projects, public works projects. So let's look at these presidents, okay? So Barack Obama's got a mixed legacy. He's done a lot of good things, but he's also carried on a lot of other shitty things, but it's shitty things that every one of these other fucking presidents have done. So he's essentially carrying on a horrible, shitty historical legacy. If he is the worst president, he can't be the worst. It's impossible for Barack Obama to be the worst president, because Barack Obama is carrying on the policies of every one of these fucking presidents, every one of these shitty fucking, the war on terror, the fucking global empire, the war on drugs, the fucking war on poverty, not giving a fuck. I mean, just basically every bit of it is being followed to the T. Every problem that I have with Obama is what all these other fuckers are doing too. So, let's see, I already gone through to see Truman's bombing motherfucking whole cities, right, just nuking the shit out of everybody, had a nice little laugh just to scare Stalin, right, just to scare Stalin. They didn't even give a shit actually about saving American troops or stopping the war, he just wanted to scare Stalin. Eisenhower warned us about the military-industrial complex while also putting advisors into Vietnam. He chose Richard Nixon as his running mate, so automatically Dwight, Eisenhower, he's a German. His judgment is a little off, right? JFK, Bay of Pigs, Cuba almost blew up the entire world. LBJ escalated Vietnam, Gulf of Tonkin resolutions, just making shit up, right? False flag operation. Yeah, there's a crisis. We need to save everybody, right? Just like the burning of the Reichstag. Hitler did the same shit. Burned the fucking parliament and then, declared martial law and took all the power for himself. LBJ might have even killed JFK, right? He's the one that benefited and gained the most. Then he gets all the glory for civil rights, passing the Civil Rights Act, which was a good thing. It was a good thing. LBJ is the Great Society, passing the fucking, all the education reforms and all the things that LBJ did was amazing. What LBJ did and JFK, the fucking war. Now I'm looking at Bush. If we judge Bush by us being an empire, then people are going to look at Bush with a favorable light if we're still an empire, for not isolationists. That means he took a fucking step, right? He took the step and said, look, America's a superpower and we're going to fucking rule this world, and that's how it is. United Nations ain't shit unless it's got us behind us, so instead of using the United Nations as a mask, let's just tell the world how things are. America runs the world. And some people want America to lead, right? 80% Africa gave George W. Bush an 80% approval rating. So, if we're an empire, then we're allowed to, nobody bombed us. That was the fucking, basically he put all of us and used all of us as scapegoats, right? If America was attacked because we invaded Iraq, say Russia or China invaded us, because, no, you can't invade us, because how are you going to stop Russia from invading Crimea or Ukraine? Well, you have to send troops and you got to fight them, right? So who's going to stop us from fighting in Iraq? And nobody did. We're right there in the middle with all the oil fields and shit right next to Russia. They didn't do nothing, right next to, Europe and Africa and kind of close to China and all India. And nobody did anything, right? So basically we could do as the fuck as we please. That's where Adam and Eve is. That's where Iraq, right? That's where Adam and Eve came from. Iraq is like the cradle of civilization. That's where all humanity came out of. Like, we all came out of Africa, but we started planting crops and creating cities in the fucking Mesopotamia. So, carrying on. Okay, so Nixon's a creep. He fucking wiretaps not just, the entire world and Americans, but also like his own aides and people in his office and shit. He passed the Clean Air Act. He passed the EPA. He signs the peace treaty to get us out, basically to win an election. George McGovern almost fucking won the election by being anti-war, but he was like, fuck it, I'll sign the treaty and I'll pull us out of Vietnam. And so that starts, you know, the process. It doesn't finish it. In fact, Ford tried to escalate it, but that's the war on drugs. He was big on the war on drugs. It took us off the gold standard, right? So we don't even have a stable currency. It's not based on anything. It's just fiat currency based on the fucking piece of paper and the ink that we actually printed off of. Stop civil rights. He resigned in disgrace because of Watergate, which is where he had a troop or had a bunch of people break into the Democratic headquarters, and then he was essentially involved with it, and they wanted him to give up the private tapes where he probably talked about it, you know. So he recorded himself. Baby Bush had learned from Nixon. That's why they deleted all the emails when they started getting subpoenas. And let's see, Nixon. You know, so Nixon's a mixed president. He started the EPA, opened up relations with China, passed the Clean Air Act. But he was also and stopped Vietnam, right? Signed the peace treaty. He also got us on the moon. So he landed on the. Nixon did a lot of great fucking things. But a race baiter, stopped civil rights, warmonger, war on drugs, creep, fucking weird ass fucking FBI surveillance like the NSA surveillance, which started with Bush, still with fucking Obama. So yeah, I mean. That's good. It's good that we're hating these motherfuckers for basically doing the same shit all these other fucking presidents have done. So if we only think about Baby Bush and Obama, I think we're right because these aren't the worst presidents, but they've been doing some shitty things all the way since FDR. What have we done? You know, we keep on trying to get into fucking wars and we're an empire, but we don't need to. We need to be humble. And Jimmy Carter. Right, so you have Gerald Ford who fucking pardons Nixon, then you get Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter beats Ford. He establishes Department of Education. That's the biggest thing Jimmy Carter does. He wanted to legalize marijuana. He put solar panels on the fucking White House. This is how shitty Ronald Reagan is. He takes the solar panels down, right? So Obama's doubled the use of solar power and wind power. Whereas you got Carter that was wanting to use solar panels. When you look at Germany, they all got solar panels on their houses. Because it's fucking free energy, free electric. Why would you not invest in this? That's like, you know, water and wind and earth and magno electricity. So all these fucking free energy or resources. There's a big oil crisis in 1973. Long lines at the gas station. I remember when gas used to be 87 cents a gallon in the 1990s. Eventually loses because of the hostages in Iran. Okay, that sets up fucking Ronald Reagan. So Ronald Reagan's a piece of shit, the fucking worst piece of shit. God give him the fucking disease that he got at the end of his life because he's a bastard, right? He got Alzheimer's, right? They fucking, God fried his fucking brain because he was a bad guy. And actually his public legacy, what people think of Ronald Reagan isn't even close to who he actually was. They think he was like he cut taxes, right? He talked about cutting taxes and he was known for cutting taxes for the wealthy and then taxing the shit out of the fucking working class. He also started a deficit, right? First president, we got a debt, now we got a deficit, right? So we can increase our debt with, interest payments and all the rest. So, fucking Ronald Reagan, Iran-Contra, he's doing these illegal arms weapons deal. He's fucking giving Iran some weapons or money or some shit, and then they're taking those weapons and money and giving it to the fucking Nicaragua Contras and the El Salvador fucking, they're defending United Fruit Company, Chiquita Banana. So Chiquita Banana owns land in Nicaragua, and the revolutionary, the democratic revolutionary people that want to get power is trying to overthrow the democratic or the dictator, fucking totalitarian fucking dictatorship. So what does America do? We back the fucking dictators. We don't ever stand for revolutions in any other country. We didn't stand for revolution. Vietnam was a revolution against us. French Revolution, we decided we were neutral. And the Haitian Revolution, we didn't do shit. When everybody in Egypt had a revolution, we waited. We took a step back and said, well, which side is it going to fall on? And we fucking make choices and decide, which side we want to go on. And usually we pick right. But is that the CIA? Is the CIA going around, fomenting dissent? And then once the people hate it, then fucking America comes in and helps them. So Ronald Reagan, fucking empire building, CIA, he did all that shit. Now we got Baby Bush, who has the Bush doctrine, meaning we can preemptively strike somebody. So that means we're an empire. We can attack anybody that we want to whenever we feel like it. But, you know, America's good and moral, and we only bomb those who need to be bombed, except for when we don't, right? Sudan and the fucking those girls in Africa, and there's so much shit that actually happens all across the world that we don't fucking engage in, and we don't do anything about. So we're not a very good world policeman. We're actually pretty shitty. Ronald Reagan was bombing Libya, right? He put the Marines in Lebanon, and then the Lebanese they blew the Marines up, and then he cut and run Grenada. He bombed this little tiny fucking country in Latin America right next to South America because he said of communism, and they're going to fucking... Well, they have no Navy or Army or anything else, but they were trying to get money for an airport, and I think they were trying to get money from the Russians. Or possibly money from the Russians, so clearly Grenada had to be fucking bombed. Tiny-ass little island nation at the bottom of the Caribbean, right? So, it's actually insane. It sounds insane to everybody else, but he got on TV, looked America in the eye, said, Grenada is coming after us. You know, so it's like an ant. An ant going to attack a fucking giant. Watch out, right? David killed Goliath. You never know. You never know. A fucking slingshot's chance. You had Skywalker. He got the fucking Death Star. 1 in a million shot. How did he know that one shot was going to do that? I mean, that's incredible. The underdogs can win. No way Grenada couldn't beat us. Let's see, he expanded the deficit, he raised taxes 7 of the 8 years, and he gave amnesty to illegal immigrants, right? So, which is right, that's what you should do. But he started the fucking immigration thing. Once everybody's in here, what are you going to do? You can't stop it, so fucking just give amnesty and made everybody citizens. He believed in Reaganomics. He destroyed the middle class. He fired all those air traffic controllers, fucked over the labor unions and the fucking, you know, the labor class, middle class, really working class fucking families because of that. Broke the fucking back of the unions. They're only 9%. They have no fucking say-so with anything that they're irrelevant, right? Obama never passed the Employee Free Choice Act. He passed a lot of pieces of legislation, but he's starting to wane. It doesn't seem like he wants to push anything anymore. The largest tax hike in history was Ronald Reagan. He started a fucking deficit, so he's actually more and more fucking tax dollars, getting all those tax dollars to expand the fucking military-industrial complex and his, you know, his war on drugs. Just say no. That's his Nancy. He's also give, you know, Bin Laden his weapons, so he's a fucking traitor. He give the terrorists the fucking weapons. He give the weapons to Osama Bin Laden, which was Charlie Wilson's war, Tom Hanks. He gives fucking Bin Laden his goddamn weapons to fight the fucking Soviets, and then now Bin Laden is using those weapons. Actually, Bin Laden had nothing to do with 9/11, right? He just inspired those Saudi Arabians. Those Saudi Arabians are the ones that fucking bombed us on 9/11. So that's what Osama Bin Laden, he really didn't do shit, but Barack Obama killed Osama Bin Laden. He was, you know, said a lot of bad shit, and we, you know, the things he's mad about is that we're occupying Saudi Arabia, the fucking holy cities, and we're an empire, and we keep on killing people. So, you know, that's the shit that he's talking about, and he's right about. And so really, you know, we could kill the fucking, the mouthpiece and the person, but there's going to be, he's going to keep on re-sprouting. He's going to keep on re-sprouting because we're doing shit that we shouldn't be doing. And we've been doing shit that we shouldn't be doing since fucking Truman. Since World War II, we took over the entire fucking world and become a, you know, all of Europe was decimated. So there was no big, strong nations out here except for America. We were relatively unscathed. You know, Japan, Russia, fucking China, everybody, fucking Europe, everybody. It was a world war, right? So the northern parts of Africa, just America was unscathed, and then we owned pretty much 50% of this entire fucking continent, or this entire planet. Bill Clinton passes NAFTA. He bombs Sudan, the Monica missiles, to get the fucking Monica Lewinsky off the newspaper headlines. He bombs the shit out of fucking Sudan. 10,000 dead in Sudan. So he also passes NAFTA. All the jobs are being sucked out. So because of fucking corporations, now America has no middle class. He also failed with this health care reform. So then we come to Baby Bush. Anti-gay. He was also, Ronald Reagan was anti-gay. He was a race baiter. He thought the New Deal was fascism. He taxed the poor. You know, he cut the fucking taxes for the rich. He loved the Taliban, said the Taliban was a fucking great founding fathers. The George Washington of Afghanistan is what he said about the Taliban. That's Ronald Reagan, your fucking beloved Ronald Reagan, who gave Bin Laden his weapons. And he fucking hated Nelson Mandela and loved apartheid in South Africa. Yes, white people should be in charge in apartheid and blacks should be subordinate. That's fucking Ronald Reagan. He's a bastard. Reaganomics fucked over a lot of fucking people. Also, the crack, you know, it was 100 to 1. If you had crack, you'd go to jail for 100 years, but if you had cocaine, only 1 year, because one's affiliated with black and one's affiliated with fucking white. 1986. This shit's true. Check it out. So the Iran-Contra scandal, Baby Bush, there's still more to come.